Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends.
You ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
Ever wonder how quickly fortunes can change in Hollywood? 1 minute, you're mining diamonds and building worlds in a blockbuster video game adaptation. The next, you're tangled in a fairy tale gone terribly wrong. This isn't just about box office numbers. It's a tale of 2 movies, a stark contrast painted across the Hollywood landscape. While the Minecraft movie seemingly struck gold, Disney's live-action Snow White remake stumbled into a blizzard of controversy. But how exactly did a beloved classic, a cornerstone of Disney magic, transform into a public relations nightmare, riddled with rumors of on-set tension and audience rejection? It's a story of clashing visions and mounting pressure, and it begins long before anyone whispered the word meltdown.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Chicken
The announcement of a live-action Snow White starring Rachel Zegler was initially met with the usual Disney fanfare. It seemed like a perfect recipe, a fresh face stepping into iconic shoes, promising a modern twist on a timeless story. But almost immediately, whispers started. Rumors of significant departures from the original narrative began to circulate, and a subtle unease crept into the online conversation. Dedicated Disney fans, usually the first to embrace any remake or spin-off, started expressing reservations. Something felt different this time, less like exciting innovation and more like a potential misstep. The initial excitement began to cool, replaced by a growing sense of apprehension. This wasn't the usual anticipation, this was something else entirely.
The future of Hollywood is being battled out right now in theaters as 2 live-action remakes from the biggest studios in Hollywood go head-to-head.
Then came the reports from test screenings, and the whispers turned into louder murmurs of concern. Feedback painted a picture of a film struggling to find its footing. Audiences complained of an uneven pace, a narrative that felt disjointed, and an overbearing message that overshadowed the fairy tale charm. Some described a story that started promisingly but quickly devolved into incoherence. Imagine sitting in a theater, excited for a Disney classic, only to find yourself lost in a muddled narrative. Meanwhile, across town, the Minecraft movie was generating a completely different kind of buzz. Reports emerged of lively audience reaction events, a movie that was simply fun, engaging, and hitting all the right notes. The contrast was stark, highlighting the growing chasm between audience expectations and the perceived direction of Snow White. But the real trouble was brewing behind the scenes, and it was about to spill into the public eye.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight.
Adding fuel to the fire was a now infamous quote attributed to Rachel Zegler herself, stating that audiences would always line up to see her no matter what. While perhaps intended as confidence, it landed with many as dismissive and even arrogant, further alienating already concerned fans. It was a bold statement, perhaps too bold for the growing unease surrounding the project. Recognizing the escalating crisis, Disney CEO Bob Iger, along with Zegler, attempted to step in and control the narrative. They assured the public that the film was simply misunderstood, urging patience and promising that the final product would speak for itself. But these efforts felt like putting a band-aid on a dam about to burst. The controversy surrounding Snow White had become a runaway train, seemingly unstoppable by PR spin. And as the public relations efforts faltered, the rumors from inside the production intensified.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist, who's just clinical at this point, saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Premiere.
Whispers from inside the production painted an even more turbulent picture. Rumors swirled of extensive reshoots and frantic last-minute edits. The implication was clear: the film was in trouble. Reports suggested entire scenes were cut or rearranged at the 11th hour, creating jarring tonal shifts and continuity nightmares in the final cut. Test audiences, recalling their viewings, lamented a promising opening that quickly descended into a confusing sequence of events. Imagine the creative frenzy, the pressure cooker environment as filmmakers scrambled to salvage a project seemingly slipping through their fingers. The sense of behind-the-scenes chaos intensified, suggesting a project struggling to find its identity, desperately trying to salvage something amidst a growing storm of negative feedback. And it was in this pressure cooker that the most explosive rumor of all began to surface.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
And then came the rumor that truly set the internet ablaze. The alleged confrontation between Rachel Zegler and Jack Black. Details remained murky, shrouded in hearsay and speculation, but the core of the story was explosive. Jack Black, known for his comedic energy and generally positive public persona, was said to have confronted Zegler about her handling of the mounting criticism. According to whispers, Black questioned whether dismissing fans as ignorant was the right approach. This direct approach, as the story goes, led to a heated exchange and allegedly an emotional breakdown from Zegler. Was it the immense pressure of carrying a Disney blockbuster, the relentless social media attacks, or simply the culmination of stress from reshoots and narrative reorientations? The rumor, regardless of its absolute truth, became a lightning rod, symbolizing the intense tension surrounding the film. It painted a picture of a set on the brink, where creative differences and public pressure collided in a dramatic and potentially damaging way.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
The fallout from the Snow White saga extends far beyond just one movie. It raises deeper questions about Disney's current approach to its beloved classics. Critics argue that the studio has become overly focused on delivering messages, sometimes at the expense of compelling storytelling and the very spirit of the original fairy tales. Longtime Disney fans, once fiercely loyal, began to openly voice their discontent. They felt a disconnect, a misalignment between what they cherished about Disney's magic and what this new Snow White seemed to be offering. In stark contrast, the Minecraft movie, perceived as simply silly fun for kids, resonated with audiences precisely because it wasn't trying to preach or push an agenda. This contrast underscored a potential crisis. Had Disney, in its attempt to modernize, inadvertently alienated its core audience? This wasn't just about one film's reception, it was about the potential erosion of brand loyalty, a precious commodity in the entertainment world.
Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Whether Rachel Zegler actually experienced a meltdown in a confrontation with Jack Black is almost beside the point. The rumor itself has become a potent metaphor for the perceived chaos and dysfunction surrounding the Snow White production. It encapsulates the narrative of a project losing its way, burdened by conflicting visions and struggling under the weight of its own ambition. Even if the specific incident is exaggerated or entirely fabricated, the fact that it resonated so strongly with the public speaks volumes. It reflects a cultural moment where nostalgia alone isn't enough to guarantee success, where audiences demand authenticity and respect for the spirit of beloved stories, not just superficial updates. The meltdown became a symbol of a larger cultural conversation about how we revisit and reimagine our shared stories. But what happened when the film finally met its ultimate test, the box office?
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event.
The moment of truth arrived with Snow White's theatrical release, and the box office numbers painted a stark picture. Compared to the optimistic projections and Disney's usual blockbuster standards, the film underperformed significantly. While the Minecraft movie soared, breaking records and exceeding expectations, Snow White struggled to find its audience. Initial ticket sales were likely fueled by morbid curiosity surrounding the controversy, but sustained attendance failed to materialize, and the fan verdict online mirrored the box office disappointment. audience reviews and ratings platforms reflected the pre-release anxieties. Many viewers echoed the test screening complaints: disjointed narrative, pacing problems, and a perceived lack of fairy tale magic. The initial negative buzz solidified into a widespread sense of disappointment, confirming that the pre-release concerns were not just internet noise but a reflection of genuine audience reaction. But amidst this reception, another figure remained largely silent, a figure whose creative input was also under scrutiny.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform.
Greta Gerwig, the acclaimed director behind Barbie and Little Women, had been credited with some involvement in the Snow White script. Her name, associated with fresh and insightful storytelling, initially offered a glimmer of hope for the project. Yet as the controversy spiraled, Gerwig remained notably silent. Why? Was she distancing herself from a project that had gone awry? Were there creative differences behind the scenes that contributed to the film's perceived flaws? Or was she simply adhering to a studio PR strategy? The lack of any public statement from Gerwig only deepened the mystery surrounding Snow White's troubled production. A future clarification from her, should it ever come, could potentially reshape the narrative, offering insights into the creative process and perhaps shedding light on the film's ultimate direction. But regardless of any future statements, the Snow White saga already holds significant lessons for the industry.
Whereas the Snow White model is the message ad infinitum, shoved directly up your ass, and, most importantly, in the most insufferable possible way, like screamed at you.
The Snow White controversy and its stark contrast with the Minecraft movie's success offers crucial takeaways for Disney and Hollywood at large. The most prominent lesson, respecting the source material and understanding audience expectations, remains paramount even when aiming for modernization. Nostalgia can be a powerful draw, but audiences demand more than just a superficial update. They seek a genuine connection to the heart of the stories they cherish. Furthermore, the Snow White situation underscores the immense power of online fan communities and social media in shaping a movie's narrative, both before and after release. In today's hyper-connected world, studios can no longer control the conversation. They must engage with it authentically and address legitimate concerns. Ultimately, the tale of Snow White and Minecraft reflects a broader industry tension, the balance between nostalgia and innovation, between delivering a message and telling a compelling story. Will Hollywood learn from the Snow White experience? Or will similar controversies continue to plague the landscape of reimagined classics? The answer to that question will likely determine the future of fairy tales on the silver screen.